everybody. I decided to spare you from the 30-second pre-roll. I got to do a new one. It was fun for a minute. It's kind of like when you watch Hulu and how many AT&T ads can you see? Or the same AT&T ad? All right, what's going on, everybody? I'm Doug Zanger, founder, editor-in-chief of this little schmutz. Hey, there I am. First off, a little bit about indie agency news. The brief is very simple. Build a global home for independent agencies. The mission, serve independent agencies and the brilliant people behind them. And the goal is more visibility for indies, more choice for marketers. This time last year, we had 5 members, 5 corporate and agency members. And I didn't realize there was a vocal in there. Lesson 1, preview the whole track. Now we're over 150. So thank you to everybody for your support. Yeah, I heard you. What do we have going on? Well, we're in the throes of Top 40. It's our first creative award, and we're going to have more. We're going to definitely have more stuff coming up on the honors end. I'm going to spare you scrolling up to the top because I botched something on the top carousel. All right, so you can watch the live stream here on the site at the homepage, or you can go to LinkedIn, or you can go to the YouTube. Also, you'll see right here, this is some of our members only content. The great folks, Ami and Seely from NOCO, former instrument executives, really, really good members only session about how to turn one-off projects into long-term client partnerships. It's really valuable information. If you are a member, get yourself logged in. You can take a look at that. So going back to the top 40, we are honoring the top 3 in New York City. On Monday night at the Delancey Lower East Side. And as you can see, the Indie Agency News Top 40 presented by Avid Exchange. Revolutionize your media payments with Avid Exchange. Automate your processes, choose flexible payment methods, and manage campaigns with ease. With Avid Exchange, streamline workflows and save time on every payment. Now, the way we have partners here is that we vet them. We want to make sure they're doing good for indies. Avid Exchange, a lot of Indie Agency News members are customers, and we feel confident about bringing them in as some of our preferred partners. So thank you to Avid Exchange. And today is IndieWork. Again, we've got a live stream for the top 10 through 4 at noon specific time, 3 Eastern, 8 GMT. But the shows must go on. And today is all about IndieWork. We head down to Los Angeles, specifically Culver City. Matt and Jay, our friends at HAYMAKER. Gentlemen, how are you today?
Doing great.
Good to see you, man.
All right. You have, so I will wax poetic. I came down when Jay's mom, you became a certified minority-owned business. And when was the part? It was about a year ago.
Almost a year ago exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
God, I think I got to check my hair color back then. I think we all do a year later. No, but seriously, that was one of the best parties that I've ever been to in this business. Jay's mom flew in from Georgia to cook just some of the best Indian food I've ever had in my life. Home cooking is always better than Trader Joe's. I mean, I'm just saying. Listen, I'm not going to get mad at a Trader Joe's, frozen Indian food meal, but when family cooks it, different. But the thing is, too,
I'm also going to tell my mom that.
What's that?
I'm going to tell my mom that this format has billions of viewers, and I'm going to send her that clip and be like, they've named you the greatest Indian food ever made, and it's going to make her really happy.
Billions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tens of people. We get like 400 people watching our show. So it's not a huge audience, but it's the right audience.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fine. It's like, hang, chill. So the thing about your space, you are in Culver City, and there's different little quadrants of Culver City. You
Mhm.
are in what I would say is, I don't want to say the most desirable, but what a great, you are about as centrally located as it gets, near the Culver Hotel. You're right in the thick of everything. You've been in that space, what, a year and a half, 2 years? Does that sound about right?
Yeah, about a year and a half.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, honestly, it's like you get into it and you're definitely settled in. I'm always curious about the environment that agencies work in. So
Mhm.
specifically, like Detroit, for example, Decal and Adam Wilson. We talked to Lafayette American yesterday. One of the top 40 winners, also from Detroit. I'm always curious about what an environment means to an agency. How does Culver just keep your vibe going?
Yeah, I mean, I think when we were looking for office space again, one of the things that we really wanted to do is create a bit of a clubhouse.
Right.
And a clubhouse is something that you can pop in and out of. And again, in LA, it's such a huge car culture. We really wanted something where we could walk.
Mm,
And Culver City's just exploded over the past 15 years or so.
mm, mm.
Where we are, what's great about it is that we can walk to pretty much anything and everything. So restaurants, bars, coffee, food, entertainment. The metro is,
Right.
again, talking about the metro in Los Angeles. That's
I know, right? I was just gonna say, what's wrong with you?
yeah, but it's pretty idyllic in all senses of the word. So not only its centrality, but it also seems to kind of be the new media hub for LA and Southern California. Amazon, Apple, HBO, obviously Sony has been a stalwart here for a long time. Nike, Beats. There's just it's
Yeah,
a emerging, I'd say, part of Los Angeles.
right.
It's just great to be in the thick of it all here.
Yeah, and you're close to. I just had to specify so people knew that it was on the left.
Yeah, on the left.
Right.
Oh yeah, got it. Nice.
You're also close to some members, so Zambezi, Omelet.
Yeah.
It's such a lot of really. It's great that there are so many agencies and so many great creative shops.
Also
Okay.
production partners too.
Mhm.
I mean, MPC.
Oh yeah, frame stores there too, right?
Yeah. We can literally walk to MPC and do a color session.
Oh right. Yeah.
They're literally on the same block as us. It's great.
Yeah.
And I'd say it's true as an advertising clubhouse, but also just where you live. It's nice to be like a regular at places. I forgot the name of the Don in all white in Godfather 2 who walks, but that's kind of Matt when he goes to the coffee shop. Like he knows everybody. It's cool. It just feels, again, or also just like walking and getting a coffee and just talking to someone about an idea is way better than, being on a Zoom call. And so I think just having all that, even though this is great, but I think, or coaching, mentoring, all that good stuff kind of happens through osmosis, and just having those things feels a little bit better than just being parked in a conference room. So great.
And what I like too is this idea of like you make it your own adventure, right? So if you're if you live in El Segundo and you're like, you know what, I'm not feeling it today, but I'll come in tomorrow and all that. Having that flexibility, but also just that. I mean, I've noticed in conversations, especially with creatives, they say, yeah, I just like the flexibility, because when I'm trying to work through a problem, I sometimes, and a lot of times, I can't be in the office because it makes it worse. Right. So I need to be able to go do X, Y, or Z. And and I like, because I love the size of the size of your space is right sized. It's absolutely perfect size for your staff, but it's also just it's such a manageable, nice. It's a really great space. Yeah, that's the bottom line. But we are here to talk about some work. I'm gonna start by playing. Should I do the alien one first?
Sure.
Let's play the alien one first. Let's take a look at this.
This thing! I will never conquer your planet.
Of course you will. Try this Olipop. It's got wholesome energy and high fiber.
Oh, I got this.
See? I told you.
Yeah!
New Olipop Ridge Rush.
How long have you had this client?
It was a project. It came in kind of, in a bit of a sprint. They were asking us to help launch the latest flavor for them,
Right.
Ridge Rush. And it moved pretty quickly. I want to say 2.5 months to 3 months top to bottom from.
Oh God, up like a carny ride. Jeez.
Yeah, it was fast. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's really fun though.
Yeah,
It's
super fun.
Walk us through the brief.
Yeah, essentially it was, we want to launch this new SKU into the market. The brand itself has this history of being what they call a really wholesome brand. It's really critical to their, not only their architecture strategically, but the tone of all of their work. And this was, something that had a little bit of a different edge in that it provided energy, right? It's got caffeine that's derived from naturally from green tea. And so the brief was really like, how do we bring the wholesome energy that exists within Ridge Rush to life? One of the insights that they gave us was that, it kind of helps battle that afternoon slump if you're at work. But they really, their 15s and some out of home, they really wanted to cut through. The 15s would run on connected TV as well as digital, online. And so the start of the idea was really like, all right, well, if we take a workplace and we look at that as like, how do we conquer that afternoon slump in a workplace, but in a very fun way that helps, kind of break through.
I mean, that's fun.
Yeah, that was kind of the start of it. And that led us to Area 51 and a paleontology dig site.
Yeah, it was fun to think about where the afternoon slump happens in the most unexpected of work environments. I think that's kind of what led us to like this.
Oh, I like that.
So whether that's a Area 51 hangar or a paleontologist dig site.
Love that. Let's play that one. Let's talk about this. Let's play it. It's really good.
None of these weird old bones fit together. I'm so tired of this.
Try this new Olipop. Has wholesome energy and high fiber. Also, no one knows what these things look like.
I buy it. New Olipop Ridge Rush.
So one of the things about this, so the casting was really well done. Obviously the production is outstanding. The writing, everything's just, it's clean. It's super, super clean. What I will say though, I'm curious about the direction because it seems like the talent is I don't want to say big. That's not the right term for it, but they're, let's just say they're illuminating things a little bit more. Does that make sense? And am I catching that right?
For sure. Yeah. And first and foremost, big shout out to our director partners, Fatal Farm. We work with them a few times now, and they're just incredible. Not only from like a casting point of view, but if you look at the art direction of those sets, it is so great. On the Alien one, I think you'll see some James Cameron Aliens, Ripley kind of illusions, along with Independence Day, and dig sites very much inspired by some Jurassic Park references and things like that. But so just art directionally, there's so much storytelling and just like how they propped it and kind of put it all together in the frame. But in terms of the casting, I think they found like really great actors and actresses that fit this kind of wholesome, vibe that we were kind of going for. But I think the way they played it is, obviously the paleontologist is just as frustrated as me when our printer doesn't work. But for him, it's about fitting a bunch of bones together. So I think they found a really great place in terms of the performances to make it feel a little relatable, as even though it seems super ridiculous in terms of what the scenarios are.
Well, and noticing the talent, so let's get behind the, get in the weeds a little bit here. So when you're directing talent, you're trying to figure out what sort of style, what sort of vibe you want to get off of this. And not to be all name droppy, but I did something for Glenn Cole once back for the Portland Trailblazers when he was on his own before he had founded 72 and Sunny. Wish he were still an independent. He kept saying not so big, right? So this idea of coaching the talent, and where it's interesting because you could play it super straight, or you can play it a little bit with a wink, or you can go super big. I feel like it's like in that middle part where it's like, yeah, we're all in on the joke.
Yeah.
We get this, but it's not distracting.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good to hear you say that. I think the one thing that we were trying to be mindful of is I think if it went too subtle, like the people might actually come off as like frustrated or angry,
Right.
you know? And I think it needs some of that brightness, if you will. It needs a little something, or to as you said, Doug, it's kind of, we're all in on the joke in terms of like the wall that they're hitting.
Yeah. And it's fun when you want to hit certain brand cues and attributes. You could try to do those subtly, but in a comedy spot, it's also fun to play with those as other beats and moments of comedy. You know, the way that the guy in the paleontology spot responds when he drinks, the fact that he didn't drink it, that it was fed to him. Those are all like intentional choices that we've made with, you know, our partners over at Olipop before we even got on set.
Right.
Those are all designed to enhance kind of the fun and the experience of what we got to deliver, which is ultimately the message.
Right.
So yeah.
When did this launch?
Yeah,
a month ago. Okay. Dude, it's been a sprint for we've launched a bunch of work in the past like month and a half. So yeah, but I think
I know you've all been on fire. It's and 'tis the season, right? As we get to the fall.
It's good to see.
And I want to ask you about that here in a second, but have you gotten any feedback on, I mean, it's obviously it stands out and creatively extraordinarily well done. Have you gotten any feedback from the client on how it's doing?
Oh yeah. Without giving too much away.
Be vague and broad.
I'd say it's performing exceptionally well and exceeding their expectations. So,
okay. That's what I like to hear.
Everybody's happy. Yeah.
So yeah, really excellent work. So while I have you, we got a few more minutes.
Sure.
I do, and it just occurred to me. So you had just said the sprint to the end of the year. So here we are, October 17th. And what advice would you give to an independent agency on navigating to the end of the year, both creatively and, you know, the size of your agency? How many have we done?
We're at like 25 right now.
That's what I thought. Okay. So yeah, in that range, like what are some of the ways to just really on a positive note end the year? What are some things in your experiences and what have you noticed over your careers where it's like, okay, it's October, we're getting to the end of the year. What can we do to set ourselves up to be successful? What are some of those things?
I would say, you know, timing is probably always the biggest challenge this time of year because people can see the end of the year. People can see a break, which I will speak for the entire industry. We all deserve.
Yes.
But I think what I personally have found, not only in our almost 8 years at HAYMAKER, but just my career in general, is like sometimes the toughest obstacles provide the biggest opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
So timing is kind of a common theme at this time of year in terms of an obstacle. But if you don't let that get in your way and you try to kind of look at it as, well, what's the opportunity that we can do in that window? Sometimes it can produce the most surprising and interesting results. And that's always ultimately what we're after, are the biggest opportunities that we can find, you know, creatively, strategically. And of course, from a business perspective, you know, you want financial opportunities as well.
Sure.
I think it's easy to say no this time of year, but I think some of the biggest opportunities that we've capitalized on throughout our time have come in Q4. So yeah, that's why I like stay open and try to keep pace. And then once the break happens, you know, it's almost like when an aircraft, like a jet hits an aircraft carrier.
Right.
Like slow down really quickly and then try to relax. But
I'll tell you right now, we're going to be closed. The last 2 weeks of December, and
so
probably the first part of the week of the 6th, because Oregon Ducks are going to be in the national.
Let's go Ducks.
I mean, I'm just going to say, Jay, talk about how you as a leader, especially heading into the end of the year, because Matt's really touched on a lot of very practical things that people can take from it. This is also practical. How do you work with your talent? And especially, you're 25 people at the agency. What's the message? How do you keep everybody on track? How do you inspire them as you get to the end of the year?
Yeah. Great question. I think first and foremost, even though we are going ludicrous speed and it's celebrate the people and the work, really talk about the wins and why they're so meaningful. And I think just taking the moment and the time to like celebrate that is really important. I think it creates its own momentum. And I think it creates an appreciation of each other and kind of all the hard work that we do together.
Right.
And I think that momentum kind of builds itself, even as we're kind of trying to go towards the end of the year and kind of be sprinting through the tape, so to say. I also think just personally, I think finding ways to recharge and relax, whatever that is, I think it's super important, especially in this moment. Just knowing, that lots of great opportunities, to Matt's point, might be coming our way. It's just making sure you feel like charged enough to run at it. And I think we try to be as supportive to our team and acknowledging that, and hopefully that combo of things of acknowledging, hey, need rest, but hey, we got to sprint this week, but it's just kind of like doing that dance and being very transparent about it, not being,
right. That's the thing.
Like, hey, this is all great. It's like, man, this is really tricky right now. It's like, cool. Like, how do we navigate this all together? Because calling it one thing when it's not that thing is not the way to go. You never want to be, false that way or have a facade. So that's tricky as a leader, I'll say. It's like, because it's been I think it's been a really successful year for us, but it's been very challenging at times. Yeah. And just, kind of being open and honest about that, I think is helpful, and everyone's kind of on the same page.
Yeah. And
about like asking for help is a sign of strength, not a sign of weakness. And we try to pull in additional help in a freelance capacity when and where we can. So I think with our folks, our full-time folks, they know that if they need help, they can raise their hand and that will go and find it. Sometimes, obviously, things land in a certain way where we all want to raise our hands and ask for help. But yeah, it's a dance to Jason.
No, I get it. Totally get it. All right, gentlemen. Let's do some fancy music. Oh, look at that. I still don't know how to use this Rodecaster Pro 2. Excuse me. I'm still learning. I guess. All right. I love new tech. So I had the Rodecaster Pro, and then I said, you know what? This one's a little smaller. It's got like the preamps are a little better. So the Rodecaster Pro 2. Not an ad, hashtag not an ad. Gentlemen, I'm going to put you backstage for a second, but thank you so much, number one, for being awesome members. Thank you for supporting this mission. And it's always a treat spending time with you. So thanks so much. I'm going to put you backstage for a second.
Thanks, Doug. Thanks, dude. Appreciate all that you do, man. Thank you.
Let's go Ducks. All right. And a reminder, get your tickets. Get your tickets for our Top 40 live in New York City. If you are a member, that is $59. If you're not a member, cool. $89 if you're an indie. If you work for a holding company, $1,299. I'm actually, you know what? I'm going to drop that a little bit. $1,200. There you go. $1,200. You just get a hold of me. Table of 10 for a holding company. $15,000, but I'm going to drop it down to $14,990. So I'm going to give you a good cut on that. And then Sir Martin Sorrell, if you're out there, yours is $35,000. I'm sorry, I'm not going to give you a deal. So $35,000. So if you can make it, great. Love it if you support the mission. So Martin and I have a very good relationship. So I know that he would find this amusant. All right, everyone. I hope to see you in New York. A reminder that noon in a couple of hours, noon Pacific time, we reveal places 10 through 4 for our top 40. On behalf of everybody at Indie Agency News, I'm Doug Zanger. Long live Indies. See you soon.